Santy and Snowy adjust, I think they have the best shot to take out that team right now. Luna, however, also has been on an absolute tear too, so that's going to be very difficult. It's borderline impossible to stop the train that is Luna of late, coming off that Omen play as well as Winter's 2v2 champions. This is going to be a really good one because Santy and Experience looked so dominant in their own game.
They did.
That I feel like we could be looking at another Game 5 possible set here.
And this is where a philosopher will say it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And both of these teams have had radically different journeys so far today in the bracket. Set 1 for Luna and Pugsy went all the way to Game 5 with Simba and Remy. Nobody would have called that on the planet. Then they went to a 3-0 against Parallel and Dog, but that Game 5 situation has to be weighing on their mind. On the other side, Santy Experience, 3-0 over iThrow Lil Cap, 3-1 over Taffy and Radish, who are absolutely rising stars in the North American 2v2 team. But it's not going to weigh on him too hard. Early lead about a minute into the game going towards Luna and Pugsy. But if you're looking at a Rayman on the board, KO potential, very high. D-Light recovery from Santy, recovery or KO potential, very high. There's the full team wipe. Minute 12 into the game, dead even on stocks.
Amazing job answering that too, because you're talking about them being rising stars, and well, they sure were. They were being set to the being set to the atmosphere. They were flying, but answering right back is so important. You have to have that dominant answer, and they actually have a very small, not a large, but very small damage lead here too. They're finding more team combos, they're lining it up, but you saw Luna immediately try to punish Experience, fading out. This has been a very big scrap fest going on. No KO off the top, but you got to watch out here, getting the double up on his teammate. Experience walks out, but great punish there coming in from Pugsy.
And it's great that it was specifically Pugsy that did that, because Pugsy was sort of the first person who was really getting into the red on the second stock. This is where we could see that lower defense really put Pugsy in the target situation. You're going against Experience, a Rayman with axe in his hand. He's going to be schwanging, he's going to be clanging, he's going to be banging. Pugsy's got to watch out for that. Red team still has a handle on it. Even though it is a small lead, they still have control of that Santy. They're going to hope to bully him out of this game very quickly while Pugsy is still on that second stop.
And just to keep putting on that point, Pugsy was the one getting beat down a bunch and is still holding on to this right now, deep into red. Everybody else has been flying, including what could be Phazon very soon as well. They've taken a lot of damage. Finally, that one goes down on Pugsy, but fresh stock. You have Luna, who is just dealing with this 2v1, immaculately gets away from that edge guard.
Now, Pugsy surviving as long as he did, especially on that second stock when he was really the first one getting into the red on that, and then all of a sudden turning that around, doing a 180. Now he's the least damaged in the game on a lower defense legend, almost getting a KO off the top. Gets it off screen. D-Light side air takes out Santy out of the game. But Pugsy being the survivalist on a low defense legend, that's classic Pugsy behavior. He's been doing that for years. That's always been the thing. One of the initial Jalas we saw come on the scene and continue to play a low defense legend in twos, that's been Pugsy.
Defense doesn't matter if you're never getting hit.
That's true.
That's just the strength of how good he's been. And now the double up here, the fact
Dodge
that
is
even
gone.
okay.
Yep.
There was not much you could do. You had to watch out for the weapon toss.
Literally
you had
zero.
to watch out for the spike. You were always going to get another push there from Pugsy unless he makes a mistake, and you have to hope that he makes that mistake. But this is not a team that makes many right now. Luna and Pugsy have earned that spot to not only get multiple people predicting them to win, but just having that championship under their belt and the performances they've been putting on lately, it is looking exactly the same here already to start it off.
That edge guard at the end was just like perfectly textbook of you're going to lose. Once that weapon toss came out, as long as Luna and Pugsy did the thing that they were supposed to do, that they're fully capable of doing, that they did do, there was no way he was going to live from that. The dodge was down. He threw out the action recovery that he needed to do in order to get to the wall to reset the jumps. He was then in recovery frames. The timing from the red team came in and took him out. That was a confirmed edge guard from the moment, the frame that weapon toss came out.
And none of that happens if we don't see Pugsy get it back together after getting beat down on stock 2, because that could have been a very different game. And I think that's going to be a big focus they're going to try and change to try and make sure they actually double up on Pugsy and deal with them. But Luna's not going to make that easy. You got 2 axes flying, so every time you make a mistake, you are taking absurd amount of damage. Experience and Santy both on the gauntlets right now, trying to line up for some team combos. Although they'll become DIable later, you have the massive range that those Sigs have. That's if you had the ability to do so, though, because Santy, once again, is the first one to fall.
Oh, Luna almost had a really cheeky edge guard. Still confident there. Nice response from Santy to be able to grab that one, especially after going down so early, 25 seconds into the game. Still brought that control back, used his character very well, those specific off the edge initiation sort of interactions that he has with this character choice.
Yeah, and if he never does that, that's a save from Pugsy. So you just stop them from getting another great spot. Now you're dead even right now. Experience doing their best to try and avoid any fallouts. Meanwhile, Luna pushing for a very deep play at the top. D-Light Recovery will finally knock that one out there. It did take a while, and that's going to be a big scoop because you saw what could have been a big play. If that connected, that was Luna was gone. But Experience going for it, already deep in the red, was worth the attempt.
The KOs are coming out aplenty. They're coming one after the other. We're at a dead even game, basically. Santy and Luna are in the same spot. Experience and Pugsy are in the same spot. So even though Luna and Pugsy are up one game, even though they cleaned up last game basically perfect, Santy and Experience are playing so well. Ajax,
so
you're jumping around. Tell me why you cannot control your body right now.
That was so good on Experience to dodge all that. Because as soon as they set Santy off stage, not only did Experience dip around all of the attempted punishes from Luna, but he kept pushing Pugsy back, who was waiting for him to try and get a hit on him so he could get that punish. This game is still in this position right now because of that, because that could have easily been a 2v1 combo.
Blue team's counterplay to what the red team is putting out is so much better this game, and it was already pretty good last game. So the fact that they've been able to step this up in game 2 is incredible. Luna with the axe in his hands, looking to chop next. Nice interrupt from Experience. Yo, he hit the grab out as well. That's a double KO for Experience, baby!
Experience not only dodges, gets the interrupt, but then confirms on a double KO. Gets one mistake and leads to another. And now you have Pugsy here facing a 2v1 against double gauntlet. So you're going to get smacked up quite a bit, trying to find your way back down to the ground safely. Even though you have the quick options with sword, you have to be so careful right now.
He got the interrupt. He got the punish for the KO, and then he's Lil Wayne on a milli going, all right, I'm going to go back in, and then he drops more bars, getting another KO. Fantastic work from the blue team. Fantastic work from Experience, who only put out 385 damage last game. Not a terrible number, but you got to step it up, and he did step it up.
If he keeps performing the way he's performing, he's going to be a young money millionaire as well, man. He's going to keep getting those dubs over and over with this way that he's playing. And this is something we're only used to seeing out of Experience, being a more defensive style player. And he was able to push when it needed to happen, and we got a one-to-one. I hope this set goes the distance.
This blue team chemistry is so much better in game 2. They needed that like little bit of warm-up time to sort of understand how they specifically as a team need to fight specifically as a team against Luna and Pugsy specifically as a team. It's all of these variables that change virtually every set, sometimes every game, that they got a handle on here. Split the KOs right down the middle, basically split the damage right down the middle. Santy did 494, Experience did 514, so for all intents and purposes, those are basically equal. Sharing that responsibility back and forth. How many interrupts did we see, Ajax, where a red team member gets the first hit of a stringer combo, in comes the other blue team member?
And this is... we have a lineup of team who has won, who has proven themselves, versus a lineup of team that is different. This is not usual, and they are making it work. Now, because of that history, you have plays like that. You have the answers because you don't get those W's without Luna answering like that, and you have the safety. Pugsy has barely been hit already.
Now, almost every Brawlhalla tournament that I've entered, and I haven't entered in them in a long time for this exact reason, I go 0-2 in. So I've never been in this situation where you have a lights out game and then all of a sudden come back in and get demolished in like the first 30 seconds. That has to be a moment where like all of the air is just sucked out of the room and you have to find a way to breathe.
That's one of the scariest parts about dealing with Luna too, is that those stocks can disappear so fast because he makes Teros move in ways that you don't understand. He constantly covers so much range, and right now he's getting covered by Experience, who almost had him off the top.
He wanted it.
That was so close, and that would have been huge because that would have been a nice early one. And once again,
oh my gosh,
Pugsy's still not down, and they just got another one.
They're going to give Santy some time to come back in, respawn back in while Experience was over on the wall. They didn't want to try and go too ham because they know Luna is extremely damaged. Maybe they got a stock off of Pugsy, but he's only on a second stock. If Luna fell there, that would be a huge, huge moment for the rest of this game. So staying away from that 2v1 situation on the edge, not a bad idea whatsoever. Luna's going to fall. We have stocks even here, but Pugsy is a little bit less damage. As I say that, might have just gone into the orange. So now we're at basically a dead even game.
Yeah, you're like the way that Experience is trying to push Santy in these positions to close things out. Pugsy in a not the best spot overall, does get the wall touch. We saw Santy go for a ground pound, but goes for another one to try and follow up on the hover to get away. Meanwhile, Experience has just completely changed what was Luna taking everybody off the top. Keeps pressuring Luna. I think this lineup that they have right now, send Experience at Luna, seems to be the better answer.
Red team was split up for just a moment. Now you see them kind of regrouping together. Both of them sharing sort of center of the stage. Blue team split a little bit, but it seems like that's where they kind of want to play. They want to surround the red team. Big side air, putting Santy on final stock. If they can get Luna, Santy has to go for the 1v1 against Pugsy, which honestly, based on Santy's history, is certainly doable based on how damaged Pugsy is on his second stock. Get the stock here, please. Get the stock here,
D-Light
Santy.
recovery, not enough.
Oh, D-Light recovery. Sword players crying out in anguish. He tried to get it. He had to go for the big play, but Luna had the dodge.
Yeah, and then you see the follow-up too, going for that ground pound before, but just misses. Now Luna puts himself off stage. This is one good stare, but you see that Pugsy hovering right over him, making sure that he's got to change that focus. You have to find Luna right now. Pugsy keeps putting himself in the way.
Santy? Is he gonna do this?
This could happen. Santy's got... Stare, not enough.
Completely split. He turns his attention away from Luna because he doesn't want a tunnel vision on that and then gets stuck and attacked by Pugsy. Luna gets back onto the main platform. Oh, this is an interesting game we have here. The side-light side-air was not in the right position to be a true combo.
Oh, wait. Oh, comes in. Just misses any type of punish. Going for the nair. You see Pugsy's chasing, and now Santy going deep into red. Now things have gotten scary. Now Santy can't make a mistake. He had an opportunity before, but Luna's just been able to hold on to this stock as long as possible.
That is okay.
Wait, he took it off accident.
Okay, I didn't think that was going to be the result of that. I thought at least Santy was going to be KO'd in that, which would have been the end of the game. He still has to play all but immaculate Brawlhalla. It is Gauntlet v Sword. He was trying to get the KO off the top. It's the side light. Pugsy getting closer and closer into that red damage.
Santy is working it closer, but the stair's not going to be enough yet. Side air is still not enough. 1-1. This determines who goes up currently in the set with a 2-1. They're fighting so hard for this. The weapons start coming through. Santy having a hard time finding it, but his defense has been on point.
Has the gauntlets in his hand, no longer at a weapon disadvantage. The recovery KOs off the top, but the longer that game went on, the more pressure was being pushed, shoveled on top of Pugsy. He was doing his best to hold everything up, ended up clutching it out in the end, took his spots and found the right one.
Now, even though you're not getting a whole lot of damage off those weapon tosses, the fact that he kept annoying Pugsy with them, just keep backing him into a corner so he could get him in a position where he can line up those consistent strings with Sword, but it got knocked away, and then that was any mistake into a game. Literally, it was on who cracks first. He who swings first is probably going down here. Pugsy's defense has been the telltale story of this set so far because Pugsy was able to calm it down after a very doable 2v1, and now we see them go up currently 2-1 in the set.
You talk about Pugsy's defense, man. He took 592 damage last game on a lower defense legend, but Santy did 703. What a monster. And that's not just because he was the only one on the blue team to do the damage during the 1v2. Most of that damage just came from the regular game, and again, this one is going to open up similarly to last game where Experience gets taken out early, but we saw how close last game was, so this definitely isn't a final nail in the coffin whatsoever for this blue team.
I know you would appreciate this as a speedrunner, but apparently there's a new category of any percent on first stock for Experience because they keep hunting it down and it keeps happening. But Experience answers back after, usually very well. Tries to go for the volley off of the... Oh, whoa! Okay, going for the attempt off top. It was unarmed neutral air, so you're not going to really find that there. there, but that was a very scary spot considering how damaged Luna is.
Luna really wants a gold on the destroy experience split. He is really hunting for it. He hit the PB last game. He got that dopamine hit. He's like, I got to get that again. I need more of that.
We're getting another run. I know I said last run, but we're getting another one. And now we're seeing Luna start to pull out some bigger plays. The side air is going to come in and finally do it Pugsy, but both of the blue team are deep into red right now.
There is a weapon on the field. Experience picks it up and immediately gets taken out by Luna, even from the wrong side of the stage. Santy, that side air, I think, bounced Santy off the stage, which takes away some of your momentum, so it didn't immediately lead to the KO. If he didn't get that unlucky bounce, he was done. Easy cleanup there for Pugsy. Hits the GC D-Light into the recovery for the KO off the top. Now we have a game that looks like it's going to be won by the red team, up basically a full stock each on the blue team.
Yeah, I don't want to call things early, but this one is looking extremely rough. You see Luna connecting consistently, not only on multiple stomps where before he was kind of hunting for him, but now he's getting way more position lineups for Pugsy. Pugsy's always there to cover, looking for big neutral sticks to try and line him up. Not that time, though. Just going to go ahead, catch him with another stick, and goes for the KO off the top.
Yo, experience, let's go. That was a nice hit.
This is
all but lost.
I was gonna say
and now it's lost.
I was gonna say you have to literally be a newborn god to come back from this one. I don't like to try and act like it's gonna be over yet, but that one was so rough.
Yeah, it was basically
the dominance answer from Luna and Pugsy there in that game 4, especially after clutching it out on the 2v1 in game 3. That had to make them feel good, and also that gets to you as a player like Experience who just works so hard to try and win that. Excuse me, Santi. That gets to the both of you, so you have to rebound. But the consistency, the determination, and the ability to play that Luna and Pugsy have been showing of late is a reason why they're #1 seed right now. It's a reason why they won Winters, and there's a reason why they're pushing to try and win this today.
I'll have to maybe give them some advice on how to rebound like that. I'm used to being a rebound, so I know a lot about that. Hopefully they can take that going forward, but I really loved Santy and Experience's performance.
When you rebound the
in
stock,
that
do you
set.
hit him with this?